What's up, guys? Welcome to OMFL Game of the Week for week number 12. It's been a couple weeks since I've been able to get one of these out because of my 6-day work trip over to Chicago. But man, we are ready to give you some games of the week right here. We just finished a great Press Pass Live, so make sure that you go back and give that a watch. Give us a like and a subscribe, and even help us retweet some of our stuff that's coming up. You can follow us on Twitter at Grown Folks OC. Check out our website, grownfolksoc.com. And if you're interested in checking out our community, joining one of our leagues that is here in our community, grownfolksoc.com/join us, and send us a quick application and we'll make sure that we follow up with you. Lots of really good games that we can talk about, man. The Bears and the Vikings was a classic game that will probably decide that division. The Chargers and the Buccaneers had another classic game there. These are all really good games that we talked about on Press Pass Live. Patriots and Rams was a really good game. Titans and Jaguars was another really good game. The Browns taking out the Colts 30-25 was a good one. Chiefs and Dolphins 24-17. You've got the Texans whipping up on the Lions 28-10 to kind of flex those muscles and take that lead there in the AFC. So a big win for them. But I'm going to go with my team, the Saints versus the Raiders, with a 19-16 victory. I never pick my games. I tried to avoid them mainly because they're not game of the week material. But this one was a classic game that really showed two teams that were fighting for their playoff lives and trying to keep those hopes going as they faced off in week number 12. Let's look at some stats here as we break this win down for the New Orleans Saints. They only allowed 68 passing yards, an outstanding day for the pass defense. On the other side of the ball, the Raiders only allowed 187 passing yards to a red-hot quarterback in Hamlin. They kind of cooled him off after that game. 174 rushing yards, though, allowed by the New Orleans Saints. Only 19 rushing yards allowed by the Raiders. So really a dichotomy of where both of these teams have really played well. 3 sacks for the Raiders, 2 sacks for the New Orleans Saints. If you walk your way down to the third down percentage, you'll see that both teams did super well. 71% for the Oakland Raiders, 56% for the New Orleans Saints. And then if you look at the red zone percentage, another very telling fact, 67% offensive red zone percentage for the Oakland Raiders, 100% for the Saints. That, along with the turnovers, really was the difference in this game. 3 takeaways for the New Orleans Saints, only 1 takeaway for the Oakland Raiders. All 3 came from the Saints cornerback Marcus Lattimore, who played an outstanding game. Marshawn Lattimore played his best game of the season by far after having a very real struggle early in the season. He really turned it around and played exceptionally well this one. Again, Hamlin didn't play too bad. 17-22 for 210 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. He really turned it on late, though, with the yards. He played super good late and efficient late in that game. Carr really struggled from the start of this one. 8 of 13 for 83 yards, the 3 interceptions, the 1 touchdown. Really, though, that rushing game for the Oakland Raiders was superb. 6 for 71, along with 45 for Richard. Allison did his thing, 18 for 95, along with 16. On the other side of the ball, though, the Saints struggled, man. They could not find any rushing games, as has been the problem all season long. Kamara only 8 for 19, and he actually lost his starting job after this game. The Raiders also did a really good job shutting down Forbes. Only 3 receptions for 24 yards, a guy who's been averaging well over 100 yards almost every single game this season. He really was shut down in this one. And the same thing on the other side of the ball with Amari Cooper. Only 2 receptions for 23 yards for Amari Cooper. Again, Marshawn Lattimore, 3 interceptions. Nande, the big defensive tackle for the Saints, had the 2 sacks. On the other side, Mack did what he does. 4 tackles, the 2 sacks. Lofton threw in a sack, and then Smith with the interception. This game came down to the Raiders missing an extra point and then scoring a late touchdown, which tied the game at 16. The Raiders also just struggled finding any kind of real consistency on that passing game, which struggled late as they had to make a comeback. But some big runs by their running backs kept them in this game. The Saints would get the ball with a little under 2 minutes to go, but he had all three of his timeouts, would drive the field, and then kick the game-winning field goal as time expired to come away with a 19-16 victory. Will be in our Instant Classic Game of the Week thread as one of those games that you should go back and you should watch because it really was a fun one. So that is your OMFL Game of the Week for week number 12. Make sure you tune in next week as we get to week number 13. Those playoff races are heating up, and here soon we'll know exactly who has made it into the playoffs, who's taken some wild cards, and who's going home to get ready for the off season. So until then, check out all of our social media. Give us some follows, some likes, some subscribes. Make sure you check out Press Pass Live. I think you won't be disappointed. We'll see you next time. Peace.